one thing that is really wild, if you hang out with entrepreneurs long enough, you will find, or they will tell you, or they will disclose in some way, shape, form, or fashion that they have multiple interests, maybe not necessarily businesses, but they've got multiple things that they're doing. I know that it's a principle from like the Everyday Millionaire. You got to have multiple streams of income, but this is not what I mean. I don't mean the multiple streams. I mean, they just have their hands in everything. Now,
it's just natural, instance, I think.
You've got web design. What else you got? You're leader for BNI.
Yes.
You've got
Women's Economic
Development Council. What else?
Huntsville Black-owned businesses. It's like a ton of different things.
Huntsville Black-owned businesses. I mean, it's crazy. And then you've got
multiple home
care,
tax preparation,
tax prep. Yeah. We're gonna get into that.
And stocks and
bonds
and
crypto. Yeah, I love crypto.
And then even as we were talking before we got into the podcast, we were discussing some things in the vein of self-help or learning, right?
Yes.
So you were talking about some books that you're looking at, and she's reading a book talking about how to
buy back your time.
Have
you read that one?
Buy back your time.
I need to buy back.
Read that.
Yeah, let me tell you.
That was the thing everybody kept talking about at the program I was at the Goldman Sachs joint.
Oh, snap.
Buy back your time. Read the book. So I was like, okay. Fine, I'll read it.
Is it a page turner?
So far, it's good.
Okay.
I literally just started today.
Okay.
But even what I was listening to, I was like, I'm gonna have to.
I have to
really
go check that one out.
Lord knows, I wish I could buy back some time.
Buy back that time. If you're in the entrepreneurial space, you probably have your hands in more than one thing. I do remote production. I'm also a content creator.
Yeah.
Also have brand deals. Also doing content for, training and have a coaching program. There's just a lot of stuff that I'm doing as well. And then I'm also trying to figure out, how can I do this better?
I know.
How can I get into this next program?
Always.
And what's the hack? What's the thing that I can do? So I just find that entrepreneurs, that is something that we each have in common. It's a very interesting scenario that you just kind of happen upon every now and again. It isn't like, I don't know if there's like a gene that we could test for.
I don't know. Seriously,
it's quite literally pervasive. Across the board.
It might not be a gene. I feel like you have a headspace. You have a headspace where you just naturally start thinking about different things that you can do. Yeah. Because I feel like when you're working for the man, they kind of put blocks on your mind, like, hey, you work within this
little block.
But I think when you finally break out of that, like you jump into entrepreneurship, like those blocks are released.
Right.
So you're just like,
exactly. You're free to explore and allow what's in your mind to
Absolutely.
come out.
Yes.
And there's a report done by LinkedIn that said that the highest sought after candidate, right, to employ is a former entrepreneur.
Oh, really?
They want to, if you can't get them, number one.
Exactly.
First of all, they don't accept the job. Number one, they generally don't accept.
Okay.
But if you can get them to accept, they don't know how to turn off.
That's true.
The fact that it's their business, right? So what we do for our own business, we will go and just naturally we do that in whatever capacity we're working in. So this is like a little cheat code. If you're in a group, if you got a project, you got a little thing you're trying to get off the ground, grab a couple of entrepreneurs, get them in there with you. They're going to give you some really good feedback. They're going to call you in the middle of the night with an idea.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, hey, you should do this instead.
Exactly. Yeah. Man, you should tweak this. I saw this on, because I don't know what it is. There's a heightened sense of awareness and sensitivity.
It's like you can see, you can make this better. I can show you how
I can show you. We can do this better.
Yeah.
And every iteration of a thing is better than the last. So, and that just means you're getting closer to where that thing is just bulletproof, is what I like to call it, when you provide a product to the world. But man, we're going to dive into our conversation for today. This is Incubator's Couch. Let's do it. Welcome, family, to Incubator's Couch. My name is Kirk Nugent. This is my lovely wife,
Kanique Mighty Nugent.
And this is unscripted, vulnerable conversations for entrepreneurs and
business owners
just like you. And today, we have on the couch with us
Shamica Johnson.
Drum roll, please. And we're excited to have you with us, sis.
Thank you.
One of the things I love about the show is that because we're interviewing business owners, many of the times these are people that we've had an opportunity to do business with ourselves. Yes. And so we, as they say, I'm not just a not just I think the statement is not just the president, but I'm also a client. But in this case, we're not just friends, but we're also a client, right? So we're excited about that. Several of the others that we've had on the Incubator's couch have been service providers for us as well, and so we're excited to have you today.
Thank you. And I didn't even look at it that way, but you are client.
Yeah, we are.
I didn't because I didn't really know where we were going to go, but talking
we
about
absolutely
taxes.
are. Yes, absolutely.
We could be
so
toxic.
You're right.
We could be the toxic clients.
Yeah, you guys are a good review for me.
No, in real talk, we would do that review.
Yes, definitely
we would do that review.
That.
Absolutely.
But tell us a little bit more about who
you
are, what you do. You can touch on all the different things.
Okay. My name is Shamica Johnson. I do a little bit of everything. You said it.
I can imagine.
I'm an avid crypto enthusiast. I love the stock market. Very good at it. I am a certified tax preparer. I started my own company. This will be the 9th year. 2025 will be the 9th year that I've been a certified tax preparer. I have the same repeat clients every year, and they bring over several. And I told myself I was going to stop at 100, but of course I've continued to go. But I love taxes.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes,
it is because how can I say it? I don't want to jump around, but I love numbers. I love numbers, so that is the reason why I still stick with taxes and will for many, many years.
And probably that bleeds into the crypto and stocks and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a love of numbers. That's awesome. That is awesome. You got to find what you love. That's gold right at the outset right there. Find what you love.
But what I love more than taxes is home care.
There you go.
I love home care more. So taxes, I love the numbers. I love to have fun. I love to make people happy. And then, of course, we'll touch later on an instance where someone wasn't. However, I love taking care of people. I love providing the service and ensuring that they remember me, and the service that I provide.
Yeah.
Now, before we dive into what we came for, I do want to just kind of put this out there because I think this is a major conversation, especially for business owners who haven't really necessarily considered their tax strategy. Yes. And I do believe you have to have a strategy.
Yeah, you do.
Talk to just maybe one or two little nuggets about what are some things that business owners really need to be considering as they prepare for and as they consider their taxes.
Well, first of all, the structure of your business. You can't have a strategy without having the right structure. True. Everyone that has a business does not have the right structure.
Wow.
If it's not structured correctly, like I said, you're going to be all over the place. True. And you'll get nowhere. You'll continue to wonder. And you could be spending
more in taxes too.
Yeah. Oh, you will. That's exactly. If you are a sole proprietor, it's totally different versus having, 10 to 15 employees. Or yourself being an employee, because a lot of business owners do not pay themselves. And you have to start out with paying yourself.
We made that mistake.
Pay everything else and not pay yourself. You're just chasing your tail. So the number one strategy would be to be structured properly. The second thing would be to pay yourself, make sure it's documented, even if it's not as a W-2 wage earner. You have to pay yourself rather as a contract worker, or if you do an owner's withdrawal, it just needs to be documented. Those two things are very important.
That's good. No. That's a free game that you're just passing that out right now because we want to make sure, for those that are watching, we know that you are at various different levels and stages of business. Some of you are applying for the EIN. Some of you have been in there for years and years, and you're probably just nodding your head along with Shamica right now, saying, yep, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But then still there's others who are probably taking some notes right now, saying to themselves,
like I need to go back and
I might need to go and fix some of that stuff. And so I'm glad to be able to share some of that context with the audience today. But man, so there is the care, home care,
Halo Home Care.
Yeah, talk a little bit about what that entails. I'm just intrigued. I know that's not what we're gonna dive into, but we
come in, we save lives in the manner of we take care of majority of people that contact us are the daughters and sons and grandchildren
there it is.
Of elders that need help. There are individuals that may have to move their mother or father in with them, or there may be individuals that has a mother or father or grandparent living alone. And they need someone that is safe. True. Everyone's background checked, DMV checked. Everyone has signed a non-disclosure.
That's right.
Right now, every single caregiver is taking the Alzheimer's and dementia training. You have to be certified in training because we are getting a lot of clients that are with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So we come in, we provide assistance with activities of daily living. Everything that we do, wash our hair, brush our teeth, wash our face, grooming, everything.
Stuff you take for granted.
Exactly.
They need help with that.
Yes. Yeah. And we have people that just want you to just massage my hair. Please. Because they can't do it because they may have rheumatoid arthritis.
Right.
Things of that nature, we come in and provide that kind of care. If someone has chemo and they can't get there, we provide transportation to get them to and from their appointments. Dialysis, things of that nature.
This sounds like ministry.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Real talk. This sounds like a full-on, like y'all are doing the Lord's work.
Something.
I can imagine it can be taxing as well.
Oh, of course.
But you're coming alongside people at a very interesting, sometimes frazzled juncture in their lives. I mean, especially for a child who sees their parent as Superman or Superwoman, and now to have to, provide care in some instances. I'm assuming some of them were providing care themselves.
Yes.
And then other instances, they're just trying to find someone.
In a lot of instances, they're providing the care. However, they need respite. They need someone to come in and just allow me to go for a walk at the park. And in that 3 hours, because there's a minimum of 3 hours that's required, we come in and provide respite for them, so that way they can take back.
And I'm glad that you said a minimum of 3 hours. Because some people, they don't want to take the time. No. They might say, "Oh, I just need an hour." No, go take that 3 hours.
It has to be a minimum of 3 hours.
3 hours.
It has to make sense for both parties. Yes.
This is so good. I know it seems like we're off topic. We're not. This is so good because even as a business owner, right, you've got to be able to recognize when you're at capacity as well.
Oh, yes, of course.
Every now and again, I just got to shut it down and go for the walk. And
I do also.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're burdening yourself, which this is something I'll do the rest of my life. So I'm not saying it in a manner of it's burdensome, but however you are taking
on a load. You're
burden.
Absolutely.
So it does get taxing for myself and a lot of the caregivers. So we switch the cases around. Some of the cases that are more extreme, we will swap them out, to where allow them a little bit of respite.
There's self-care
and the same
built
with me.
in.
When I know that, okay, both phones are ringing constantly, I have to pull back a little bit. I will contact someone else and say, okay, I need to have the calls forwarded to you for a few hours because I have to, take care of me.
Yeah.
I hope y'all are taking notes. Like she's giving nuggets on how you can
really
self-care.
You have to have balance.
You
do.
Yeah, you have to have balance.
You do. You got, and you be mindful. And there's not because the tendency is to think that providing this care is paramount, right? It's like that's the apex. True. That's what's most important.
Let me tell you.
But if you are empty, you can't pour.
You can't pour. You have to refill.
That's good. And you got to figure out what your normative behaviors are for refilling. All of this applies to business.
Yes, it does.
In all areas, it does.
Yeah. Because after a while, I just can't do any more coaching calls. Right. I just can't. So
you got to set a limit.
Yeah, I actually have. I have. But because at a certain point, man, those coaching calls become therapy sessions. I'm just
And
I'm sure some of that is including what you do because you are giving some kind of therapy. I'm sure when you're talking that client off a cliff.
Yeah, and I say this mildly, but I have to say it. I find myself having like therapeutic sessions with the child.
I was going to say.
The child,
And I'm not kidding. The first person I think of is Darissa. I'm not. I mean, seriously, it's like, if you only knew some of the days, it's like, my God, I'll pray about it because I need it. I need to refill because I need to be here for them. I know this is something I'm supposed to do because I have started out a conversation, we're laughing, and at the end they're crying, I'm crying.
Wow.
And it's just like, thank you. I needed that
this
outlet because they can't talk to their siblings because each one of them are rotating and dealing with the same thing.
For our audience and our listeners, I know you guys both are familiar with, when you mentioned the name Darissa, but just for our audience, just kind of give us a little bit of context.
Well, Darissa Williams, she's a psychotherapist at A Better Weight Counseling.
That's right. We got to get her to come through.
True.
Absolutely. Come and hang with us on the couch as well.
Yes. Yes.
One of the thing I was going to go to, and this is a great segue back towards the story we're going to share today, is I would imagine that even on the finance side, there's some counseling built in as well.
Oh, of course.
I
just had one of those today. Seriously.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, because when it comes on to money, man, if you're sitting and when you sit with a tax consultant, I mean, this is as bare and as naked as it gets. I mean, it's all on the table.
And it's when someone is entrusting you with their finances, it is a big deal.
It is.
And I will not go into it because that's private. But we had some sidebar conversations.
Yeah.
It is very private. And it's like my clients, I've been glued to them since the first year of taxation, even though some of them, they take me around the corner and back again. It's very intimate, and if you don't care about your money, I don't know about really what you care about, because we need it to survive.
Yes, you do. So you need to care about that.
Have the lights on.
I mean, honestly,
you have to care.
It's very important, and anyone that say it isn't, they're just not being responsible.
Man, there's just so much there for us to be able to sink our teeth into. I hope that you're taking notes. I hope that you're really paying attention. Hope that you have gotten some nuggets of wisdom already. But we've divided the stranger among us now.
We're comfortable now
on the couch. We want to hear a little story.
Yes, we are ready for the story.
And we want a little woosah moment.
Okay, I don't know if it's gonna be a woosah.
Well, no, that's what the couch is for.
Yes,
we hold space here. Yeah,
yes,
get comfortable.
You are.
Get comfortable. But we hold space here for business. So, we say this almost every episode, but it bears repeating.
Yeah.
There is no better client bureau.
That's right.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
And so we hold space here on the Incubator's couch for business owners and entrepreneurs to really share some of these, because I mean, some of the people who have told us their stories, we're talking nightmares.
Yes.
So,
nightmare
and we're not trying to compare or anything like that. But we just recognize that is that's a moment that people have gone through.
You carry that with you.
You do.
Mm-hmm. You don't realize it, but you do carry that with you.
You do not forget it.
No, you don't.
It's like, okay, what did I learn from this?
That's good.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah. So Shamica, we are fully into our session now. Okay. Talk to us. What I mean, you have a myriad of jobs and services to pick from, but we know you're going to be talking about one of your finance scenarios.
Yeah. Well, she's no longer a tax client.
Got you.
And respectfully, even when I talk about this, we had a great relationship. However. Okay. You have tax, and this is years back. It was 2019 to be exact. In taxes, and I do not say this in an offensive manner. However, amongst my clients, a lot of clients that are lower income earners may not really understand taxes, as someone could be a multimillionaire and not understand. However, the majority of my issues come from a tax client, that may make under $20,000 but expects a $20,000 refund.
Gotcha.
So we understand that because we've had clients like that too. So yes.
Okay. So like I said, I'm saying this just because it is an experience. And this particular year, my client made approximately between $16,000 and $18,000.
Okay, wow.
And we do know 2019 and 20, there was some things going, going on with COVID and credits and things of this nature. It was the tax filing year for 20, but it was for 2019. They began giving credits. And if you recall, people were getting $18,000, $20,000, $25,000 refunds.
They were,
but it was based on the child tax credits, not so much as not so much as taxes being paid in. And a lot of people do not understand when they get that W-2. I'll explain to them, if your box number 2 for your federal taxes withheld isn't 10% of your box number 1 is going to pull from your refund if there is a refund that is due to you because you have an underpayment penalty of taxes. Well, this particular year, they were giving out additional monies, and she did have 3 dependents. So again, between $16,000, $18,000 income, refund was $11,000, and I'm thinking like, wow,
that's amazing.
That's almost what you made. It wasn't enough. So I put in the work, done everything.
Yeah.
She went to get numbers elsewhere, could not get better numbers. She came back.
Okay.
I filed her taxes.
Okay.
Fast forward the next year, they were giving out these same credits. If you guys have friends, which exactly. Mm-hmm. Same thing happened that year. Refund was even larger because she did go back and adjust her W-4 to ensure that they were taking the proper amount of taxes out.
Okay.
Some clients you just can't make happy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do.
That's
now,
true.
She wanted me to file her taxes, but she growled the entire time. So I say this to say you can bring your best foot to your best, everything in you to the table. Mm-hmm. And I know I apply myself. I've done the Jackson Hewitt and all of that. I've gone in and be out in 30 minutes. I take my time and
look at
make sure that I'm
everything. Yeah.
I refresh myself every year to ensure there's nothing left on the table.
Yeah.
I want, if it's due to you, we're going to get it. But this particular client, I could not satisfy her. And it was because she had unrealistic goals. And I'm following the law. And no, I'm not going to put 20 things on there that's going to harm me. It would harm me. It may help you temporarily, but it could harm me long term.
Yeah.
Right.
So this particular client, I emailed her a lengthy email, after that tax season to let her know that we couldn't go forward together. Yeah. So she went online and she left a review, but she didn't leave a bad review.
Oh, okay.
She, instead of giving me 5 stars, she gave me 3.9, which I still have an average of 4.9. So if you see that review out there from years ago, that's her. Okay. That's the only 3.9 review.
And once I give my 5,
there we go. It'll
push it up.
Yeah.
So and I'm being transparent and even saying that.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against her, but that is my one experience that I had with taxes because it was repetitive calls and it's like, are you serious?
Wow.
Do you realize if it were not for the child tax credits and the earned income credits, you would be getting a few $100s back?
Yes.
So I love my clients with children. However, I have began in the last 3 years weeding out, accepting clients that we do an intake. I ask a series of questions. If those answers are not to what I need them to be, I just can't do it because all money isn't good money. If it's going to keep you up at night.
Say it again.
All money is not good money. No. That's the truth. Yeah. If there is an entrepreneur in the chat right now, man, go ahead and put a hand raised emoji or something because that is the truth.
Yes, it is.
And I love it because you kind of broke down several different pieces there in terms of some of your takeaways and then just some of the things that you kind of did after the fact. So you still had, in my opinion, a very amicable engagement.
Oh, of course.
But you let them know that we can't move forward. And I think that's something we've said here on the show before. It's okay to fire a client.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay.
Well, in this case, I will say this to her defense. Even though I let her go, she still sent me referrals the following year.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. And it gives me the chills to say it.
And that just speaks to the quality of work and
I
the
agree.
person that you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
that's amazing.
that is amazing.
So
you
if
should
she's
think about
listening
that.
to this, yes, she sent me referrals. Well, she sent me solid clients.
That's good.
They called XYZ, referred me, and I was in my mind. I was like, okay. Yeah.
When you're in a regular, highly regulated industry like taxes are, there's just your hands are tied.
Yes.
I mean, there's
only
so much
you can do.
So we're in a very creative space, and it just irks me to no end. Sometimes you'll deliver something and folks are like, well, I kind of wanted it like this or like this, and you're just kind of like, what are we talking about right now? You want the green over there? You want the spinny thing over here?
Yes.
What? I thought we were doing the logo.
Yes.
If you're doing the logo, then you do the logo.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So there is a difference in terms of the industries that we're all in.
Yes.
Some of our clients very much are, because you can tell, a person who is really kind of is always asking for a little more.
Yes.
They just aren't necessarily going to be satisfied. It didn't really matter what you deliver.
Like, how much can I give you?
I mean, honestly,
how much?
And because there are things that I have delivered to certain clients and similar product. I mean, delivered to one client, they're over the moon.
Yeah.
Delivered to a different client, they're like,
they're just not.
What can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? They're like, wow, I did the same thing for other guy. They gave me a tip. I mean, They went above and beyond,
it just depends.
and we cut corners. We gave you the deal. We gave you the discount. We gave you the all that, and you're here
Still
wanting the most.
And it's like make you want to just stomp your foot because it's like, come on, are you really serious? Are you really serious?
For real.
Oh man,
That just shows just like you never know exactly, but I'm glad that you have that system in place where you do go through a checklist of questions with them.
I have
to see if they're a good fit to kind of further weed them out.
Yes, I have to.
Yeah. That's
because
a good.
When you're starting up, when I was starting up my business, I was taking on anyone that came. It's just a truth to build up. However, over time, you will naturally weed out. You know,
start to say,
I've never had an audit. Every tax client I've had has been happy, and I believe she was as well. She just wanted more for something she may have needed to be, taken care of. But
probably,
I haven't had an audit for a reason, and I do not go behind another tax preparer for this reason. So you don't pull their mess
in. Yeah, makes sense.
On your
you keep it clean, keep it clean, keep it separate. That's wisdom. I think it doesn't matter what industry or business you're in. Yes. You do want to have a process. Intake process, onboarding process to be able to vet a client to make sure that you can deliver. I had a discovery call with somebody last week, and it just became very clear what they're looking for just wasn't something that I could provide. And I began to kind of go through this list of people that they could possibly hit up. Yes. And they were just completely dejected because they wanted to work with me, but I was just like, but I just don't do what what you really need. Yeah. I mean, it's to the point where the guy was like, well, what do you do? Because I want to work with you. I'm like, no, I want you to get what you want done first. And then maybe, if you have something else, then you can come and we can work together. But I want to make sure you get across the line. I just, you don't want to be
just
so
take
hungry.
Their money and not be able to deliver that product.
I want to be, and I don't know. Maybe there are some business owners that are like this, but most business owners I know, they really want to provide a transformative service. You want to
provide a good service,
something good that people can walk away and be like, "Thank you."
Yes,
that's what I found.
That's how I feel. Yeah. That's how I feel about anything that I do.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to be known for good work. Yes. Good work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh man, this has been rich. Sometimes you just have to kind of look back with those 2020 vision and be able to look at a situation, a scenario. There are several unlike yours that I can look back on that completely crashed and burned. I didn't see the red flags, didn't have the intake process, didn't ask any of the questions, and didn't know when to cut them loose. Right?
As time progressed,
I probably should have cut one or two of them. I'm thinking right now about one or two that I might want to just send them an email right now and say, we've gone as far as we can go.
And for entrepreneurs, you've got to do that early. Like you need to
when it's still good.
When it's still good.
So you can
end amicably because you don't want it to get nasty.
No.
Exactly. Yes.
You don't.
Because someone could possibly try to tarnish your name and it not be totally accurate. However, you put some information out there. So the best way for me to handle things is before it, gets to that point of someone, having like me, I was just like, I can't do this.
Your reputation, I mean, it's really all you got. I mean, that's how you are able to you trade on that. That's how you're able to get into certain rooms. It's how people are going to refer you. But then in addition, I mean, it's what you can stand on. It's a legacy.
Yes.
I mean,
it is.
That's what you leave.
Yeah, that's what your name is known for.
Oh man,
you want that to be.
You want that
superb,
absolutely,
clean.
Absolutely,
clean.
That is gold, man. Listen, this was awesome today. We've had a phenomenal time. Just take a few more seconds just to share with people where they can find you, follow you. You have any new projects coming up? Have you got any new business ventures
or events? Because you guys just did an event.
Or are you going to be doing any training on crypto? Or
okay, yes. You can find us. You can find me as far as the Halo Home Care at homecarehalo.com.
Awesome.
Or 256-325-5023.
Awesome.
As far as the taxes, jltaxpreparation.com. My phone number, 573-510-9838. If you plug that into Google, every single thing that I do will populate. Crypto, I am working on putting together a crypto workshop.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, and she does have books, y'all. Ebooks.
Yes, I have 2 ebooks. They're out there everywhere. If you put in Shamica Johnson crypto, it's going to populate.
Okay.
I have 2 ebooks on Amazon, so many Smash Books. It's on 16 different platforms.
That's
Again,
dope.
Put in Shamica Johnson, crypto, and Google, and it'll
Listen,
populate.
author as well. Author as well. Listen. We folks are on the couch. This is what I'm talking about. I'm about to get that crypto book.
I know.
I'm gonna have to get that crypto book. Me and Carson were talking about crypto earlier, but no, this was absolutely amazing, Shamika. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys for having me.
This was awesome. This is awesome. For our audience, listen, fam, this is Incubator's Couch. We hold space here for these kinds of conversations. We just believe that most businesses, even when they have a bad experience, and we take ownership when we get it wrong. We do take ownership, but most businesses aren't in business to just get over on clients. True. They're not in business just to make a bag of money and run. Most businesses are in business because they have a deep down desire they want to provide a service. And that's why we started right where we started in terms of talking about the home care and the mindset and some of the wraparound services or some of the things that you get into that aren't necessarily services, but because that's what happens in business. Even as a coaching content coach, even in web design, we find ourselves kind of entangled in the business of those that we serve, and that's what it is to be in business for yourself and provide a what we call a stellar service to a client. So we hope this was meaningful for you, and we're excited that you can hang out with us for the next one. But for now, this has been Incubator's Couch. Unscripted.
Vulnerable conversations
with entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. And we'll see you in the next one.
If you would like to see more episodes like this with entrepreneurs that have those kinds of experiences, definitely check out this video to see more stories like this.